The two most powerful armies in the world, allied with each other during the Second World War, then entered into a Cold War against each other, two armies possessing thousands of planes and tanks, and there is a lot of tension between them for years. It is a striking force in the West and another in the East, and two armies are able to change the balance of power at any moment. Russia and the United States of America. In this section we present to you a comparison between the two military powers. Every year, the Global Firepower website issues a ranking of the armies, and although many of the armies' order has changed, Moscow and Washington have remained in their place in the ranking. The United States of America was ranked first to be the most powerful army in the world, and in second place is Russia, where Washington and Moscow are considered the two most powerful armies in the world. And now we present a detailed military comparison. Human power. In terms of population, Washington outnumbers Russia in terms of population, where the population of the United States is 332 million, and in Russia the population is 141 million. As for the workforce, Washington outperforms, as the United States has 146 million people and Russia has 69 million people. As for the active soldiers, Washington has 1.4 million active soldiers, and Russia has 1 million active soldiers. As for the reservists, Moscow has a significant advantage. The United States has 845,500 soldiers, and Russia has 2 million soldiers. As for the budgets of the two countries, the budget of the United States is considered the largest in the world, amounting to $740 billion in 2022, and the budget of Russia amounted to $69 billion, and the budget of each of them is considered the largest in the world. Air Force. The U.S. Air Force owns a total of 13,233 aircraft, and Russia has a total of 4,144 aircraft. Of these aircraft, Washington owns 1956 combat aircraft, and Moscow has 789 aircraft. As for ground attack aircraft, Washington has 769 aircraft, and Moscow has 742 aircraft. As for the military transport aircraft, Washington has 945 aircraft, Moscow has 429 aircraft, the training aircraft has 2,765 aircraft, Moscow has 495 aircraft, and the special mission aircraft has 749 aircraft, and Moscow has 130 aircraft. In terms of helicopters, Washington surpasses in the number of aircraft. Washington has 5,436 aircraft, and Moscow has 1,540 aircraft. Washington has 904 attack helicopters, and Moscow has 538 aircraft, and the numbers show the superiority of the United States, and the two sides continue to develop the Air Force, as the United States has the advanced fifth-generation aircraft F-35 and F-22 and Russia has a Sukhoi 57 and the Sukhoi 75 of the Fifth Army as well. Land Force, where Moscow is superior to the United States in terms of numbers, where Washington has 6,100 battle tanks, and Moscow has 13,000 combat tanks, and in terms of armored vehicles, the United States has 40,000 armored vehicles, and Moscow has 27,100 armored vehicles. Washington has 1,500 self-propelled guns, Moscow has 6,540 cannons, Washington has 1,340 field guns, Russia has 4,456 cannons, and in terms of missile launch bases, the United States has 1,365 systems, and Russia has 3,860 systems. Naval Force. Both sides have a strong naval fleet and they have various and dangerous naval weapons such as submarines and destroyers. The United States has 490 naval units and Russia has 603 naval units. Among this fleet are aircraft carriers, where Washington has 11 carriers and Moscow has 1. In terms of submarines, Washington has 68 submarines, Russia has 64, Washington has 92 destroyers, and Russia has 15 destroyers. As for combat ships, Washington has 21 ships, and Russia has 85 ships. In addition to the fleet of patrol boats, Washington has 13 ships, and Moscow has 55 ships. As for the anti-mine ships, Washington has 8 ships, and Moscow has 48 ships. Turning to logistics services, the United States has 13,513 airports, Russia has 1,218 airports, Washington has 35 ports, and Russia has 8 ports. In the end, Washington excels in manpower and air power, and Russia has superiority in naval power, but the two sides continue to race towards developing advanced weapons and the continuation of their military superiority over all countries of the world. Over time, new weapons appear, developed by either Russia or the United States.